Okay, so sa mga nakapaghintay, congrats. Ito na nga siguro ang best value Android tablet na pwede mong bilhin ngayon in the market, ang Xiaomi Pad 6. And just to clarify, kung hindi sila nagkaroon ng parang introductory price para dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6 para sa 8GB, 128GB variant neto, hindi ito yung bibilin ko. So dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6, meron tayong increased storage and memory configuration. So 6GB with 128GB of storage, 8GB with 128GB of storage, and 8GB with 256GB of storage. So either you buy the 6GB 128GB variant of this or the 8GB 256GB variant of this. While yeah, it's a nice bump yung additional 2GB of memory sa parang mid configuration nito, which is this one. Ang bitin sa storage, also considering na wala tong micro SD card expansion. Yeah, it sucks, I know. Doesn't make sense for a tablet na wala siyang micro SD card expansion, but yeah. So ito nga, nabili ko lang for 16K itong mid variant with 8GB of memory and 128GB of storage. And if I'm not mistaken, ang MSRP ng 6GB 128GB variant neto is 18K, 21K naman sa 8GB 128GB variant, and around 23 to 24K sa 8GB 256GB variant neto. And kaklarify ko na kaagad sa simula pa ng video na to, this is a significant upgrade from the Xiaomi Pad 5, but not worth to upgrade. Like for example, if you have the Xiaomi Pad 5, then it's not really worth upgrading to the Xiaomi Pad 6. Although if you were one of the people who were planning on buying basically an Android tablet in this price segment, then of course go for the Xiaomi Pad 6. It is a very nice upgrade, but not significant enough that you would upgrade from the Xiaomi Pad 5 to this. And unfortunately, hindi ko actually naabutan yung parang freebie neto na stylus pen niya nung pre-order period, and I didn't buy the keyboard case for this. So sa mga naghahanap ng review on those two accessories netong Xiaomi Pad 6, then look elsewhere. Okay, so ito nga yung full review ko sa Xiaomi Pad 6 sa more than 1 week na ginagamit ko. So feeling ko mas maganda kung unahin ko muna what you're getting with this tablet and yung improvements neto mula sa Xiaomi Pad 5. Ngayon, yung sa sinabi ko kanina na if you have the Xiaomi Pad 5, it's not worth it if you're gonna upgrade to this, is still entirely up to you, of course. Kasi one of the biggest improvements here is definitely build. So you have an all aluminum back and frame since, well, unibody design na siya ngayon. Aside sa Snapdragon 870, which is a significant upgrade from the 860 dun sa Xiaomi Pad 5, is meron ka ng USB 3.2 dito, mga kaibigan, which papakita ko mamaya kung ano yung main advantage nito, aside from having faster file transfer speeds. Okay, so starting off with build quality and design. So pagdating sa build nito, it's definitely real solid. There's very minimal flex if you try to bend it from either side. Very nice. And pagdating sa design dito sa camera module niya, it's just trying to borrow from its siblings na Xiaomi 13 series. And at least with this tablet, pagdating sa design, it looks simple for the most part. So yung Xiaomi branding dito, yung contact points para sa accessories niya. And if you're holding it in portrait orientation sa right side niya, there you have the volume rocker, may microphone tayo dito. And just below that is, I think, the magnetic point for the stylus pen ito, again, which I don't have. And we do have another microphone just below that. Sa top naman ng device, we do have the power button here on the right hand side. Tapos, two of our quad speakers. Dolby Vision Atmos nakalagay dito. We pretty much don't have anything on the left side of the tablet. Tapos, sa baba naman, we have the other two speaker grills for the quad speakers. USB Type-C with the main microphone. At least I think this is the main microphone. Tapos sa front naman ng tablet, we do have the 11-inch IPS LCD 144Hz display. And sa top niyan, if you're holding it in landscape orientation naman, nandito naman yung front-facing camera niya. And while there's really nothing wrong with this tablet, I am disappointed na hindi pa din nakapaglagay yung Xiaomi dito ng fingerprint scanner along with the power button. Although may fast face unlock naman dito para sa Xiaomi Pad 6 na so far sa pag-try ko is hindi naman na-full sa picture mo. And moving on naman sa display nito, so again, we do have an 11-inch 2880 by 1800 resolution na IPS LCD 144Hz display HDR10. So this is covered by Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and ang maganda dito is may option ka to dial it down to 90Hz if medyo conscious ka sa battery neto. Although battery life isn't really a concern here sa Xiaomi Pad 6 since excellent siya. So you actually get nice and accurate colors with this display, and of course along with that 141st-ish mood as fuck, bro. And the display actually gets perfectly readable even under direct sunlight. Although I'm not really sure who would be walking outside with this in hand, but hey, it is actually perfectly readable even under direct sunlight nga. And as much as I don't want to talk about it, is yeah, surprisingly good, I would say, yung camera system dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6. So we have another 13 megapixel sensor, but f2.2 naman yan, and take note, yes, single camera lang to. As much as Xiaomi wants you to think that it's a dual camera setup. And yeah, for the most part, you can actually take good pictures with the main sensor. And also, this is a pretty nice selfie that you can take with the front-facing camera. Okay, tapos ito naman yung 4K video na pwede mo expect dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6. If ever lang naman nagagamitin mo ito pang record ng videos, ito nga yung quality niya. And as weird as this feels, ito nga yung 1080p 30fps video na nanggagaling sa front-facing camera ng Xiaomi Pad 6. So aside from having a good camera system, especially for a tablet, you actually have an additional feature here if magre-record ka using the front-facing camera. So dito is may option ka na for a teleprompter. So yan, of course pwede mo i-edit yung text niyan, and yung scrolling speed niya, and yung text size. So I'm not sure how often you're gonna be recording with the front-facing camera of your Xiaomi Pad 6, but hey, it's a nice addition. And moving on naman sa performance neto with that Snapdragon 870, which is a great performer, especially for the price. Also, do take note again that I do have the 8GB variant of this, so pagdating sa mga basic tasks, social media, opening closing apps is snappy, multitasking isn't a problem for this. Although one thing up until now na ayoko pa din dito is pagdating sa split screen na multitasking nito, for example you want two apps open at the same time, is ang option niya pa din is yan, side by side pa din siya pagdating sa portrait orientation. So sa landscape, of course, left and right siya. But sadly, pagdating sa portrait orientation, ang option mo lang is left and right. Pwede mo double tap yan to change the positions or swap the positions of the apps that you have opened. But yeah, disappointing pa nga din na hindi pa din ginagawa ng Xiaomi yung update na yon, na para kapag portrait orientation nga is up and down yung apps instead na gantong left and right. But yeah, and pretty much ganun pa din pagdating sa gestures. So you can 3 finger swipe up to go to home, tapos 3 finger swipe up and hold to go to the multitasking screen, and you can swipe from the edges left and right to go back. And take note, pagdating sa usage ko, it's different. Definitely different from siguro sa business person na nag-iisip na bumili ng Android tablet for productivity. I mainly use this for media consumption and gaming. Wait, kasama nata yung gaming sa media consumption? Bata yun? So pagdating sa gaming, pretty much no problem yan sa Call of Duty, PUBG Mobile, Wild Rift, or kahit ML. Where this tablet shines is definitely playing more demanding games like Genshin. So dito sa Genshin, this is currently set sa highest graphic setting, 60fps, with motion blur turned off, of course. Now while this isn't the smoothest experience in Genshin at highest settings nga dito, 60fps, there are minimal stutters lang. Like, it's perfectly playable. I have no complaints here. So very nice experience dito for Genshin sa Xiaomi Pad 6. And actually, para maparinig din sa inyo yung booming na speakers neto, it's not an improvement, pero it's still nice and loud, and again, booming, mga kaibigan.
Prepare to be blown away.
Cool it. What's the heck? Don't push your luck.
And masasabi ko so far sa tablet na to, performance is great, although it's a shame na hindi available para sa atin yung 8 Plus Gen 1 na Xiaomi Pad 6 Pro. And pretty much a max temp na makukuha mo lang sa tablet na to is around 37, 38. So yeah. And moving on naman sa Aether SX2, which admittedly medyo nag-struggle siya, at least kumpara sa Poco F5, which has a 7 Plus Gen 2. Yun pa nga pala, Siguro mas maganda kung ginawa na lang dito ng Xiaomi is ginawang 7 Plus Gen 2 to, although I'm not sure kung ano yung magiging price neto if yun nga yung chipset na nilagay ng Xiaomi dito. So dito nga tayo with Ether SX2 with Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is one of the more demanding but playable games dito sa Ether SX2, kasi something like Dirge of Cerberus is basically unplayable even to something like my S23 Ultra. So dito sa Most Wanted, magkakaroon ka ng mga occasional slowdowns, but it is playable for the most part naman. So yun nga, magkakaroon ka ng occasional slowdowns as nakita nyo naman. And take note, 1x native resolution na to. So as nakita nyo naman yung mga slowdowns niya, it's legit slowdowns. Hindi siya yung para nag-stutter like crazy yung laro. So it is playable pa din naman. And lastly, isang battery dito sa Pad 6 with that 8840 mAh battery with 33 watts of fast charging. So pagdating sa typical use ko for a tablet, so mainly media consumption lang ako, so watching videos and playing games. So about 8 hours of screen on time I can easily get and end the day with over 30% left. Pero pagdating sa mga lighter days ko na kung saan hindi ako masyadong focus sa tablet, so siguro mga 3 hours a day ko lang gagamitin to. The battery life can last me for 3 days. So yun. And maganda dito ngayon is kasama na sa box yung 33 watt charger na ito, which can charge this tablet from 1% to 100 in just 1 hour and 30 minutes. And that's pretty damn impressive for a battery of this size. And siguro kayo na makapag-decide nito para sa sarili nyo. So the Xiaomi Pad 6 versus the Xiaomi Pad 5. What's different with the Xiaomi Pad 6? So again, technically, improvement naman sa display. So both have 11-inch displays, pero dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6 you get a 144Hz display compared to a 120Hz. Tapos just a tad bit brighter yung max brightness dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6 kumpara sa Xiaomi Pad 5. Improvement nga again sa build, as dito sa Xiaomi Pad 5 is you get actually a plastic back pero aluminum frame pa din yan. And again, with the Xiaomi Pad 6 you're getting an aluminum unibody build. Tapos pagdating naman sa cameras neto, it is an improvement dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6. Like weirdly enough, yun yung in-improve ni Xiaomi. One of the things na in-improve ni Xiaomi dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6. I would describe it as mas usable na yung pictures and videos na makuha mo dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6 sa social media kumpara dito sa Pad 5. Tapos one of the biggest improvements here dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6 is again that Snapdragon 870, which basically this feels more snappier definitely kumpara dito sa Xiaomi Pad 5. It might be because this has 8 gigs of memory, kasi dito sa Pad 5 na meron ako, this only has 6 gigs of memory. But yeah, definitely feels snappier yung performance dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6. And pretty much the same lang naman yung battery situation here, so almost the same lang sila. Although dito with the Pad 5, you're only getting a 22.5 watt charger in the box, kahit na supported niya ang 33 watt charging. And at least for me, again, this is just for me, ang biggest improvement ng Xiaomi Pad 6 over the Xiaomi Pad 5 is USB 3 na, mga kaibigan. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Aside from faster file transfer speeds, I can easily hook up this tablet now to an external display just by using a Type-C to HDMI cable. So yan, HDMI to Type-C. Bam! So while unfortunately wala actually na desktop mode dito sa Xiaomi Pad 6, which, something that Xiaomi can hopefully add through a software update is, you can easily share content on a bigger screen or just play games on a bigger screen like emulators on the Pad 6. And yeah, while I get that may screencast feature na dito na built-in sa Pad 6, this has delay. Depende pa yun sa internet connection nyo. And of course, mag-connect ka na lang ng gamepad and yeah. Very, very nice, man. Of course, if this is a feature that you see yourself using a lot, then by all means, siguro upgrade from the Xiaomi Pad 5 to the Pad 6. But of course, if you're just buying a tablet now, then no-brainer na para sa akin tong Pad 6. Again, if you're buying this tablet now, you either buy the 6GB 128GB variant or go for the 8GB 256GB variant. So Depende pa din sa'yo, lalo na for something like Genshin na over 30 gigs na ata ngayon, which will eat up your storage easily. If sa tingin nyo na okay sa inyo 128 gigs, which para sa akin is bitin, then by all means, go for the 8 gig 128 gig variant neto. But yeah, wala naman taong nakalimutan, umuulan na, sakto, patapos na yung video. That was my full review on the Xiaomi Pad 6. Of course, leaving a like as always is the easiest way to support the channel. Consider subscribing if you like my content and turn on notifications for all, so you'll be updated on my latest videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Flip a bag, now I'm serving a Tesla. Going back, shawty with me, I stepped up. GTA for the ops, ain't no less stuff. Shawty born to be my angel, yeah, I'm blessed up. Cooking right up in the stew.